And we are live. What up, players? Welcome to episode 201 of Player Life. Today, we are going to talk about uh, why you need more than just game to get a 10. Um, yeah, so it's Tuesday, the 7th of December here in Tokyo. Um, yeah, so I mean, tens are subjective. It really is subjective. I mean, even when I'm out with friends, and we'll have kind of disagreements over what you know what's a 10 and what's not a 10. Or sometimes a friend of mine will point out some girl, and I'm like, she's all right. She's not really my type. I might consider her a 6 or something. My friend might consider her a 10. But yeah, so it does vary to some degree. But Gabriel E in the house says an A plus plus man who is alpha as hell. Yeah, I mean, not it doesn't always. It's not always necessarily that the guy is like super alpha. And that's certainly in Japan. Japan's a bit of an outlier. Japan is a strange place, actually. You see, sometimes in Japan you see a lot of tens, girls that I would consider tens, with guys that are definitely not alpha, like definitely not. Uh, yes, Japan's a weird country, and it's a bit of an outlier. Um, but yeah, that's a different story in Japan for sure. But yeah, tens in Japan tend to, yeah, they prefer to. You'll see them with some really not very impressive looking guys, but one thing about Japan is a 10, a girl that's a 10 will often get with a guy that has a lot of money. That tends to be the case. Um, know your worth in the house. What's up? Boom, baby, yo, Mac. What is good? Hope you're well. Um, Jason L in house. What's up, bro? Watching live for a few minutes while on break. Good stuff, man. Catch the replay. Um, yeah. So yeah, where to start? Where to start? What's good, Riley? Hope you're well. Um, yeah, Japan's a real outlier when it comes to uh, sexual intersexual dynamics between men and women. It's a real it's a, every day I go out, I see some like super hot girl, or multiple times you'll see these couples where the guy's very unimpressive looking, and he'll be with some really hot girl. But the thing about Japanese women is that a lot of them, when they get up sevens, eights, nine, certainly with eights, nines, and tens, they'll monetize their beauty a lot of the time. They will monetize. They'll be getting some kind of benefit from their beauty. They will. They'll be benefiting from it. Like there's a lot of girls in Japan, like girls that eights, nines, tens, that are yeah, they'll monetize their beauty, as in they'll become sugar babies. Sugar baby is the PC word for basically sex worker. Now, let's be real. There is a difference between sugar baby and like a full on sex worker. Sugar babies are basically low key hookers. That's what a sugar baby is, low key, because like a full time hooker is like banging multiple guys every single day from some hotel room or something. But sugar babies are like, they might have a couple of sugar daddies, but they're not going to work and smashing multiple random strangers every day. But yeah, no, it's very common in Japan for sugar babies, for that whole culture to exist. Um, it's fucking hilarious. I've said it before, but you'll see the really hot Japanese girls. yeah, if I'll see them on Instagram, but they'll be like posting photos from hotel rooms in Tokyo, even though they live in hotel rooms. Posting views from posting their breakfast from some fancy hotel, and it's like we know, we all know what's going on, but I mean, I guess they don't care. I guess they don't care that people know that. Some girls even flaunt that, like they expose themselves, like they flaunt the fact that they're sugar babies. It's funny though, if you actually said to them directly, "Hey, you're a sugar baby," they'd be like, "How dare you? How dare you?" They won't admit it. Some of them might admit it, but I think most of them will just. It's like double speak. It's like they're showing you that they're sugar babies, but they'll also like deny it. So it's like, okay, yeah, we live in a world of contradictions. Uh, uh, New York says, "I wish I could. I have family flying in from Ireland for the holidays." Good stuff that people are traveling, even with all this bullshit restrictions. Um, I have I was talking to a friend last night, and I found out that he got a tag on his ankle. He got like one of those tags from the he was this is what happened. He was outside, and he coughed, and apparently he was beside this was in Scotland, by the way, and he got arrested. He got arrested for coughing near a police officer, and he's I'm not joking. This He's literally under house arrest for coughing outside. I don't think people realize how bad, like how authoritarian things are getting. Like I'm not making that up. Like this man is under house arrest in Scotland. Like he got arrested. He's not. It's insane. It's fucking insane what's happening. Like it's not even funny, man. It's actually fucked up, and it's actually getting worse. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but like it seems to be getting worse, man. This shit isn't blowing over. Like that's like crazy. Like I know that guy. Like I know him. Like he's under house arrest. It's fucking nuts. Imagine getting being under house arrest for like doing that outside. What the fuck? Like that's nuts. What a fucking society we live in. What a fucking world we live in. Like insane. People just losing freedoms left, right, and centers. Left, right, and center. Madness. I don't know. I don't like the way things are going, guys. I do not like it. I mean, the way things have gone. I mean, you know, not only the way things are going, the way things are. Like they suck. I don't know. All this bullshit, and I miss the way things used to be in 2019 before all this shit. You could just hop on a flight, take your passport, fucking wander around new cities, fucking just free as a fucking. Well, even then it was kind of annoying with all, you know. It always bothered me about having to. I like traveling, but it was annoying. It was kind of annoying the way you have to have all your passport and make sure you're on time and all shit, not miss your flight and all this shit, not have any sharp objects in your bag and all go through the security. It's all that bullshit. Now there's all this extra shit, like loads of extra shit. Like, can I even? You have to research. Am I allowed to even go to this country? Like, am I even gonna be able to get in? Like, because am I allowed? Are they accepting tourists? Like, can I book a flight here? All this extra shit, like it's garbage. And then even if you are allowed to go there, you have to go and get a bunch of tests done. It's like, oh, like then it's like, oh, like is it 24 hours before I get my flight? Is it like a week before? Like, oh, how much does it cost? Like, how many times do I have to get it done? What if it's positive? It's garbage. Like, it's all garbage. Um, it is what it is. Says Australia is about to penalize people for not getting the jab. Crazy things happening. Crazy things happening right now. Like this isn't coming down the line. This is here. It's like fucked up. Like it really is fucked up. Not even. It's no joke. Like there's no hyperbole. It is literally. We're living in fucked up times. Um, That's one of the things I was spot on. I was correct from the get go about this shit. I was correct. I was like in January, February, a little bit of March of 2020. I thought maybe, oh, maybe this virus, maybe this beer bug is actually dangerous. But the one thing I was right about from the very start is like I knew the shit wasn't gonna blow over, just because of the intensity of the intensity of the propaganda and how hard the globalists were pushing it and everything. So at the start, I was like, oh, maybe it is dangerous, but I was on the fence about it. I was on the fence about it, but I was not on the fence about the fact that this shit isn't going away. It's not going to blow over. Like I wasn't on the fence about that. I'm just fucking glad I'm in Japan, man. I'm absolutely astounded about how. I'm also astounded as to how free Japan is, like relatively free compared to like all the other bullshit that's going on in other countries. Another thing is I don't watch the news in Japan either. Maybe it's not as free as I think it is. No, but it actually is. Like there's no like laws, there's no mandates. As far as I know, as far as I know, there's no laws or mandates to I go out every day and I've never worn a mask in public and no one bothers me. No one says anything. Some establishments require them, but yeah, it's just not an issue. Um, yeah, so Jason Ellis says 1939 Germany. Yeah, it's pretty fucking wild. Um, total garbage. Uh, Nowhere says once governments take something from you, there is no getting it back. Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate. It is quite depressing, but it's like fuck, like I don't know. You can't get too depressed about it because like there's not. You can only change your own situation. You can only change, build a network of men. Become part of some kind of, and you have to build a network online because it's very hard. It's obviously it'd be great. It's good to build it in real life too. If you can build a network of guys around you, but it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot smaller the group because really there's 99%. 99% of people are normie sheep. 99. The reason the globalists are getting away with this is it's because it's it's because they're getting support because it's the vast majority of people are supporting it. They're normies, they're sheep, they believe everything they're told, they're brainwashed. Like my own family is brainwashed. My own family is brainwashed. Idiots. Idiots. You don't need to even be a super highly intelligent individual to know this thing is a scam. You just need common sense. There's intelligent people out there that have fallen for this, but they don't have any common sense. They don't have any like basic, use your fucking common sense. Like go outside, look around, like walk around. Like it's just like just go outside. It's just nuts, man. It's nuts that people are still falling for this. If people are, if there's, I think, it's almost 2022. Like we've, coming up on 2 solid years of, we'll be coming up on 2 solid years of this. And if there's, if you haven't been red pilled by now about the state of the world, about the way things are going, like you're never. I don't think it's possible to. I really am doubtful as to whether it's possible to red pill someone. Like um, yeah, I don't know. I just don't think it's possible to red pill someone if they still fall for the shit. Like if they still fall for the shit. Like the only kind of blue pill friends I have, and our old blue pill friends. I was just talking to a friend yesterday, and I was saying like I could never. I wouldn't make friends with. I wouldn't make new friends that are blue pill. I just wouldn't do it. And any old friends that I have that are blue pill, like it's like the relationship is. well, there's just much, I only contact them every now and again, and it's yeah, you can't really discuss some things because it end up in an argument. So you're just better to build a network of men that are on the same level as you, um, that have roughly the same outlook as you. Um, it's just gonna be better. It's not an echo chamber. It's just living in reality because most people don't live in reality. Um, anyway, back to the topic at hand. Danielle says sugar babies aren't new. Is a thing. There have been sugar babies for probably centuries. It's just that now in present day it's become normal and mainstream. It's no longer shameful to be a 304. I'm not sure what a 304 is, but um, yeah, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's not a new thing. Just the terminology is kind of new, I guess. Um, yeah, men have always paid for sex in some way, shape, or form. Um, I mean, even if you don't pay anything, which I don't, I might pay for coffee or a drink or something. But I do pay in time. I do pay in time. That's for sure. Um, everyone pays in time. These hoes, like, they take up your time. That's one of the most, and like, there's one thing about hoes is they do not value a man's time. They do not value a man's time. That's for sure. Um, and it's got to be said, like, there's a cold hard truth about it is that, like, there is a correlation between, like, the hotter the girl becomes and uh how much of a bitch she is. Like, the hotter a girl becomes in general, not all the time, but as a rule, I would say the hotter she is, the more likely she is to be a bitch. Like, the bitchier she is. And that's just because they've gotten so much free attention for so long, like all their lives, pretty much. So it's just that they do see themselves as something special. Especially, the better looking the girls become. But then on the other hand, it's like women will also tens will also be selective as to how they treat a man. Like a 10, like a 10 out of 10, it's subjective. Let's say eights, nines, and tens. Some guys go around saying they're fucking tens and they're like sixes, and it's like, come on, man, she's not a fucking 10. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, I know it takes a certain. I mean, yeah, some people just have no eye for some things. No eye for they have no aesthetic eye. Some people have their eyes. They don't have any. Yeah. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, but anyway, some guys will claim they're fucking tens, but they're yeah, it's like they're sixes or sevens, but it is subjective to some degree. But some guys obviously exaggerate the kinds of girls that they're fucking. Um, but yeah, there certainly is there certainly is a correlation between the hotter the girl, the more likely she is to be a bitch. But the funny thing is, I mean, but that doesn't necessarily mean even ugly girls can be bitches. Even ugly chicks, and we're seeing more and more of that today. You know, in the because uh, women's globally, women's egos have been inflated. I think back in the day, I think ugly chicks weren't as bitchy. Like, I think don't think they would have because we didn't have social media, we didn't have the internet. Like, the thirst out there amongst men is what's causing this like fucking fucked up dynamic between men and women. It's because the ugly chicks can still get a lot of attention. So even they get deluded. They get confused. They get they misunderstand what's going on. They misunderstand that most guys just want to pump and dump them, and it's not even that they want to pump. It's like that there's guys will just they're so desperate that they're just like they can't get really the hot girls, so they'll just settle and they'll just want to have sex with these uglier girls. So these uglier girls think that they're hot shit. They're really not. um Uh, yeah, so Danny Arnold talks about a cruise ship. Yeah, I heard about that. The cruise ship. Yeah, it's a bunch of garbage. The whole thing's a joke, man. Like it's a joke that people are still falling for it. It's insane. It's just insane. It's embarrassing. It's just there's a weird feeling when you see like someone's like still falling for the narrative. It's like I feel embarrassed but also angry because these kinds of people are responsible for all of us losing our freedoms, and because they're complying. Complying is the mother of all fuck ups, and it's not going to change. It's really not. Like there's not going to be some red pill awakening where everyone's like, "Fuck, I'm so tired of this." Sure, there's going to be some people. It's going to be, you know, the amount of red people that get red pill is going to increase, but it's still going to be minuscule compared to the overall population. It's always going to be that way. It's always going to be like a minuscule percentage of the population that get red pilled. So um, it's always going to be the way. Okay. Jason L says, back in the day, hooking up with a fatty was called a layup. Oh man, love it. Know Your Worth says, Rolo was saying how since we cannot judge women, they cannot be held responsible and are absolved. Yep. Let's see. Danny Arnold says, have you ever noticed that guys hardly ever call themselves a 10, even if he's quite good looking? And yet broads will call themselves a 9 or a 10, and it's only too obvious that she's a 2. Yeah, you can, all you have to do is go on the some episodes of Fresh and Fit to see that. And yeah, they have some hot girls on there, but there's been plenty of times where there's girls that are like four, no, maybe not threes. Maybe I've seen like fours and fives call themselves tens on that show, and yeah, it's just, that's just, there's tons of girls out there like that. There's tons of them. Um, uh, yeah, so it is what it is. That on premium content or an app or website. I'm not. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Um. Oh yeah. I do have some premium content. Um. If you're looking to join about leveling up your day game, and day game is the best way to, but day game is just undoubtedly the best way to source the hottest chicks. Like there's cold approach. It's probably better to call it cold approach because it doesn't necessarily need to be daytime. You can cold approach a girl at night. like, but yeah. If you're looking, go to my website, mactodaygamer.com, and click on the premium content. Put the link in the description. Um, just so you have it. Here is the link. Yeah, so check it out. But yeah, I don't know. It's just there's definitely a really big correlation between chicks. The hotter the chick is, the more likely she is to be a bitch. Um, but like I said, it varies from, she'll be selective from man to man based on her perception of you. So if she perceives you to be a low value man that's hitting on her, she'll be very likely to be very bitchy towards you, very cold, or just completely ignore your existence. But if she perceives you to be a high value man, she could be very nice to you. She could be very feminine, very sweet. This is the reality of how women operate. Like you know, it's selective. they will be very different. They will treat you very differently. Two men, very different experiences with the same woman. Um, and yeah, the point of today's episode is to talk about how like game is just it's not going to cut it. Like I'm not saying like if you relied entirely on game, if you were like completely an average guy and average looks, you have some average money, and you know everything is average about you, but your game is really good, it's it's gonna be you might be able to get with tens, like once in a blue moon, but it's not going to be something that you're going to be able to be consistent with. It's not going to be a consistent thing. It's going to be very it's always going to be hard to get with a 10, but it's going to be very very hard if you're just relying entirely on game, just like your swag and all that, um just to get women, because at the end they're just going to want more, because even in Japan, like I was saying, like women a lot of the time women will go for guys with the tens will try and monetize their beauty, like they're aware that their beauty is worth something. So tens in Japan will often go with guys that are they're it's not necessarily they're even good looking, but they have a lot of money. They might dress well, something like that. But yeah, I think it can vary from country to country. It can also, like, it varies. There's a lot of different elements to it, because it varies from like age range. The younger, 18 to 22 year olds, it might be something that it's. I think they're gonna. It's more likely that they'll give up the box. They'll give up the box for a good looking guy with game, basically. But then once the girls get older, once it's like they get, like, in their mid 20s, game won't be enough. You'll need more. And it's funny though, because it's like we want the younger chicks anyway, you know. And Danny Arnold said Troy Francis should come hang out with you in Tokyo for a month. The Englishman and the Irishman day gaming Tokyo on camera together will be epic. It will be good. Unfortunately, you know, Japan isn't accepting tourists right now, and I don't know, with the whole all this new variant out. Like, I don't know, maybe they were apparently supposed to be opening up in next spring, but I mean nothing's. I mean, I think that could be is that out the window now with all this new bullshit coming out. The new variant with like a 0% death rate. You know, just insane times we live in. Like the cowardice of people is so insane. The cowardice, the pure cowardice of the average human. I was talking to another friend last night about, there's about, I was saying, like, I'm not a people person. I generally don't like people. And he was like, yeah, no, but there's some amazing people. And I was like, no, there are some really amazing people. Like, there's some exceptional, crazy people. Uh, there's some, yeah, just crazy people, some cool people. But yeah, I think the vast majority, I might sound like a pessimist, but I think the vast majority of people are dickheads. I'm sorry, but it's just the way it is. The vast majority of people are straight up dickheads. Like, they don't use any independent thought. They don't think for themselves. They're cowards. Like, the list goes on. Um, the vast majority of people fully support having their freedoms taken away from them. Um, but yeah, let me share. I found this video, right. I'm gonna listen to it, and it's actually a chick giving out dating advice about how to get a 10. I'm gonna see if I agree with anything that she's saying. Because chicks giving out dating advice can be pretty sus. pretty sus indeed. You got to be careful listening to chicks giving out dating advice, but let me check it.
Your dating and relationship coach, founder of Layup, and welcome to today's video. I'm your coach for you men to master your attraction skills and build the confidence overall to master your dating life or your relationship life. And in today's video, we are going to talk about how to get a 10. Now, I want to be clear about how to get a 10 first before we get started, and I give you some tips on what they look for. A 10 could be whatever you position it to be and whatever is attractive for you. Now, I'm going to give you tips in regards to this, and I want you to take some notes in regards to this because it really is going to attract you to
Know your worth with the super chat. That's the first super chat. I just got eligible for them, so appreciate that. Getting 10s is work. Appreciate that. Know your worth. Cool. First super chat. Cool stuff.
An overall 10. And remember, a 10 should not just be based on looks unless you're just looking to play the field. Hey, no harm done, as long as you're honest and open. But at the same time, if you're looking to settle down with a 10, it should be leading into tip number 1. Tip number 1 is don't always base a 10 off of looks. Obviously, as men, the first thing you're attracted to is something visual. You are a visual man as a habit. And what happens, you see a beautiful woman, you probably consciously or subconsciously think like she's too good and she's too good for me, or I can't get a woman like that. But in all actuality, women that are really beautiful, that stand out of the crowd, a lot of times, a lot of men don't really come up to them because of the fact that they think there's so many men that think like you. And then the men that do come up to them just don't bring any substance. And it's just another day of, hey, how are you? Hey, or, things like that that are totally uncalled for that women have to deal with these days. And the thing about it is you have to bring something of substance. And that's what I'm going to talk about. I talk a lot about in videos about how to approach women and things like that. And I'll put them up here on the card that can help you in regards to that. But tip number 1 is just don't base your 10 off of just looks alone. She has to bring value to something as far as is she smart at something? Is she driven? Is she independent? Is she stable? Is she emotionally stable? Is she, what is her goals?
I guess we're talking, just when I talk about a 10 as guys, we're talking physical. We're talking physical beauty. Obviously for dating purposes, I mean, there's that's a different kind of conversation almost. Like, it's a different conversation. Like, what's a 10 to be what's a 10 to be dateable? That's a different conversation. But yeah, for a woman to be dateable, she needs to be like bring a lot more to the table. Like a lot more. Like she need not even it's not even actually no, I take that back. She doesn't even need to bring that much. She just needs to be sweet, feminine, kind, like just, it's not, but that's extremely important that she is sweet, feminine, and kind. Because like I said, a lot of women will be, really, really, the hotter they get, the bitchier they will be. Um, so yeah, it's men don't like men's like, requirements for a woman are not, you know, we're different. Like we don't require that much. We just require that they're good looking and that they're sweet and feminine and cooperative, um, and just not a total bitch, Um, yeah, but women require a lot more from a man. Um, you know.
In life. I mean, we can go on about this, and I'm sure if this is not your first time visiting, I talk about that a lot in my videos. So you can cultivate something healthy with a woman. Tip number 2 is be kind and be warm. So there's a difference between a man that is just really standoffish and a man that is just, you can tell that is just humble and warm, and you can bring humor into the conversation and things like that. But one part of being warm and is being true to who you are. So you're not putting on a facade of a fake facade of a man that you think that she wants to be. Because
Yeah, you gotta be careful. Yeah, you gotta be careful about taking that advice. There's a difference between being kind and being nice. Yeah, certainly don't be nice. But you can be funny, you can be warm, you can be, but um, yeah, a lot of times, you certainly don't want to come across as being a really nice guy with a 10. Um, but it really depends on your personality too. You kind of everyone all every guy has a different personality, so and it depends on what the girl is like too. But like, it's really not a one size fits all solution. Like, it's not just some blueprint that you just follow. But yeah, certainly being too nice to girls, like, um to really good looking girls, is not going to it's not going to get you very far. um
women will figure this out eventually, if it's not in that moment, but eventually. And also, it creates an energy where they just kind of get off balance and they want to end up pushing away because they just don't know, but something feels awkward to them. So, the more that you're warm, so the definition of warm means basically be yourself. But being yourself is really a guy that thrives off of confidence and knowing his purpose and knowing who he is. And I'll put another card about that, what I put about how to be a confident man or how to find your purpose, I'll put up here. Next, it might sound silly, but tip number 3 is have an opinion, but be polite.
I will agree with that. I think the hotter the girl is, the more that they want a guy with a purpose. Like, really, that is something that is pretty true. I think most tens are gonna want to get with a guy that is really about something, that has something really going on in his life. They basically want to get with a really successful guy, because they're trying to monetize their beauty. You know, and it's funny because a lot of Western women are fucking squandering their basically their leverage. Because women, when they're really young and beautiful, have a lot of leverage. They can use that youth and beauty to get a really high value, successful, rich guy. But a lot of them just squander it jumping on the cock, whatever, jumping on a bunch of dicks. But yeah, no, it's definitely something. Certainly in Japan, anyway, tens will want you to be about something. Like, they will. You can't just be some kind of bum, like, just doesn't have much going on. Like, it, yeah, you might be able to bang them a few times, but to be have stuff going on.
About it. It might sound weird to you, but not a lot of women, especially women that have a lot going for themselves, the 10, don't want a man that's just going to agree with them on everything that they say. You want to have an opinion and stand out and be unapologetically honest. That's the difference. You're not going to be disrespectful and point fingers at people, but you can be open to debates in a nice way and asking questions. This shows that you are grounded as a man in your own individuality, and women are attracted to that because you are your own person and you're not caring to impress her much. It's more of the I don't care attitude. Now, a lot of pickup artists will say you just show a girl that you don't care, but a 10, a girl that has a good on her head on her shoulders, if you show her that you don't care, you're just going to end up pushing her away and she's really not going to care about you. So that's not what I mean. You have to have like an I don't care attitude, but in a respectful way, and being unapologetically honest again when it comes to these things. Tip number 3 is
Yeah, I would say certainly have an opinion, but, like, honestly, if you're trying to just smash a 10, um, when if you're just trying to get laid with a 10, I would say like, you know, avoid topics of contention, like try and like avoid politics, avoid anytime if a girl starts sometimes I'll get into it, but if it's usually after I'll get into it after I smash, but um yeah, before you smash, you just change the topic. If a girl starts going on about how scary, like it's happened a bunch of times when a girl's gone on about how scary. This is before I've smashed. Before I've smashed, she goes on about how scary the beer bug is. I'll just ignore what she's saying and change the topic. Like I'll just like change the topic. She'll say, "Oh, it's something. Oh, it's so scary," and I'll be like, "Yeah, yeah. What? Look at this shit over here, or look at this. Like, look at what's this on TV." I'll just change the topic. I'll just like, literally ignore what they're saying. But I mean, yeah, I mean, after once you get your fucking, because once you smash, you can really go at it. You can tell them what's up. I've done that so many times, but yeah, you can tell them then what you really think. But before you smash, I would think don't get in, don't start trying to debate these chicks. Um, yeah, it's just yeah.
Is try to be as social as possible. I know it can be a little hard for men that have social anxiety or what we do a lot more videos about introverted men. But here's the thing, especially with introverted men, you have to put yourself out of your comfort zone in order to get results, plain and simple. Social anxiety is a little bit different. And I don't want you to classify yourself under social anxiety just to give yourself an excuse that you can't be social and talk to other women. It might be, or a woman. It might be the fact that you don't engage really well with other people around you, especially people that you don't know. So you're like, what do I ask them? Or I'm going to sound like an idiot. And all these bad thoughts and limiting beliefs come in your head that end up pushing you away. So I'm going to give you some tools that you can use for tip number 3 on how you can um, talk to people that are in your vicinity. So go out with friends, go out with people that you're comfortable with, or meet up with them, because you want to engage everybody in a conversation. So the people that you are comfortable with talking to when you're in a group, as you probably talk to this woman, or you're going on a date, or you're meeting up with this woman, whatever the case may be, you want to engage with your friends as well, so they can open up the door, so everybody can start conversating. It'll make you feel more comfortable. Tip number 4 is challenge her. Just because you
Just one thing about she started talking about friends there. Social proof is pretty powerful. If you're doing night game, in a bar or club or whatever, like social proof is pretty huge. Like it's not that you can't like you got to bring your real A game if you go to a club alone, because chicks will be like, "Oh yeah, who you here with?" It's like one of the first questions they ask. So like, if you're there, sometimes you're genuinely there with friends, and your friends are just off trying to game other girls. So you're like, "Oh yeah, I'm here with my friends." But even if you're there alone, you have to say that. You have to say, I'm here with friends, but they're off somewhere. But ideally, you want to be there with friends because there is social proof with that. But one thing I find that works, that can work, There's different things that work, but like one thing that you can do is you can go out to a bar or club, and you can approach girls and build up, talk to them for 5-10 minutes. Don't even bother buying them a drink. Don't even bother buying them a drink, but um, try and build up some rapport with them and exchange contacts with them, and then go off and hang out with your friends and just ignore the girl. Like, and if she sees you like socializing with other chicks, or even like with your friends, that's social proof, and you can come back to her later. The worst thing you can do is cling on to a bitch in a club. Like, don't cling on to her. Like, you know, um, yeah, it's like, but it's kind of the way you have to do it. That's because if you're clinging on to her too much, it's just you seem needy, and it can bother them. So you just want to like dip in, get her number, and then come back to her later. You'll need to come back to her. You will need to come back because another thing is, and that's another reason you have to talk to many girls is because there'll be other guys that will come in, you know, in while you're gone. Ultimately, some other guys will come in as well, like, and she might choose that guy over you, but that's just what happens. You can't. But it's better than being like clinging on to them. Like Gomor Hike says, don't be a Klingon. Like, yeah, I mean, you can't really. That's why you have to talk to multiple girls. Like that's why you have to be active. So you get a bunch of contacts. But yeah, you're trying to seal the deal. What night game you're in this day and age? You're really trying to seal the deal on the same night because getting contacts isn't that valuable in my opinion for nightlife because it's like you know we live in a fast paced world, man. I don't know. Um,
You are a genuine guy does not mean that you don't have to challenge a woman. And a woman will probably challenge you, but this means that you have to do it too, but in a friendly way. Now, a lot of you can think, oh gosh, that sounds so crazy. These are all games. It's not. It comes down to attraction. And at the end of the day, it builds attraction, it builds spontaneity, and it's fun because that's what gives us the butterflies. That's what gets our endorphins running in our mind constantly and start to think about that person is attraction. So if you can build the right certain type of attraction, the right attraction in the beginning of your dating phase and in your relationship, the relationship can become sustainable if the both of you are a good fit. So when you challenge a woman, you don't want to address her in a confrontational way. Obviously, just address her in a non-confrontational way. You can ask her questions and like say maybe she's a musician, like what type of music does she write? Does she write or does she prefer to sing? You know, things like that. Ask her questions because it's not all about you and her asking you questions. You're trying to get to know her to see who she is all about. Next tip is your posture, your grooming, your body language, your eye.
yeah, the thing is like when I'm when I'm talking to chicks, I'm generally leading the conversation and asking about them. Chicks, you know, this is well established. Chicks are solipsistic, basically narcissistic. So they like talking about themselves. Like if they don't like talking about themselves, then they're probably not that into you. A chick showing you that she likes you is that she's opening up and she's telling you about herself. Like a chick, if she's sitting there and she's making it difficult and she's saying, "Oh, you're asking so many questions," yeah, you don't want to like drill them with questions. It's not like that. But if a chick is saying stuff like that, "Oh, you're asking so many questions," oh, this that basically that's bitch speak for saying you're kind of annoying. I don't really like you. Like I don't really like this date. A girl that like really likes you, she'll just she won't say stuff like that. She won't say, "Oh, you're asking so many questions." She'll just talk. She'll talk about herself. Yeah, but it is important not to be like drilling them with questions, but you're leading the conversation. You're asking about their life and you're asking about them, what they like, what they do for fun, and you're finding out about them. And usually, to be honest, I'm saying fuck all about myself most of the time. Like they don't, a lot of them don't know shit about me. Like they don't know fuck all. Like because I'm not, you know, um, so I'm not telling them about myself. And yeah, but a sign that I'm having a girl's having a good time and with me is that if she's just talking and I'm listening, and then I take her home and bang. Um, Todo Dia podcast says, new follower here. One thing I would like to hear your comment here in Japan. It feels like Japanese girls are so full of themselves. Some are very snobbish when you approach. What do you think of that? I mean, yeah, I mean it's a huge part of the game in Japan is that it's a numbers game. Like it's a huge numbers game in Japan. Like the reality is like foreigners have no advantage. Like there's this insane myth. I've been saying it for years, and it's like I'll keep saying it because there's a fucking myth that foreigners have some kind of advantage in Japan. Like, oh, or especially white guys get labeled with it all the time. Oh, you're a white guy. It must be so easy for you to. Every single time I go out in Japan, if I go to a bar or club, some idiot, some dickhead will come up to me and say, "Oh, it must be so easy for you to get girls here." And it's like, shut the fuck up. Like you've no, like it takes serious game to get with really hot girls in Japan. It takes really good game, like better game than I would need back in Ireland, like way better game. Because most girls would never touch a foreigner with a barge pole. Japan isn't some kind of third world country where it's like, oh, they're gonna jump latch onto a foreigner as some kind of escape. They see you. No, like Japan is very wealthy. Like there's a lot of fucking rich fucking Japanese men, and you know, even in terms of you know, I don't know. It's just time and time again I've seen it. I mean, I was out doing game with a friend on Friday night, and we were doing sets, and it happened a few times where these we were we see some girls approach the girls, build up some rapport, and then some Japanese guys come in and cock block, and the girls go off with the Japanese guys. uh this has happened, and it's like, you should go in and beat up the guys. No, listen, you you can't do that. You do that, you're a fucking idiot. That's how you get deported, kicked out of the country. Like, as a foreigner here, you don't have any kind of fucking advantage, like, especially if you get in a fight with a Japanese guy. The police are always going to take the side of Japanese guys. Like, I mean, there's fucking no advantage, and I fucking boils my fucking piss like every single time. Even like foreign guys, like, yeah, it's like, I don't know. Yeah, Japanese guys say it to me. Even Japanese girls say it to me. Some foreign guys say it to me. Maybe foreign guys that aren't white. They're like, "Oh, it's so easy because you're white," and it's like, dude, like, it's not. Like, it's not easy. There's nothing that you need. Game. You need solid game, and you need to just not give a fuck about rejection. You just keep doing it. You get better at it. The process, just have trust in the process. It does work. Like, you keep approaching hot girls, eventually you're gonna have success. And the better you become at it, the higher your success rate, basically. But there's always going to be a good bit of rejection, a good deal. There's always going to be a good fucking deal of rejection. um yeah, but
Contact everything. I always talk about this: posture up, back straight, eyes directly at that person when you're engaging in conversation with them, chin up, and make sure that you wear something.
she's pretty spot on about that. Like, posture, your body language, like, that is actually very very important. Don't be like leaning down. Don't be like having your shoulders all hunched in. No, you stand up straight, and, like, trying not to sometimes the girls are small, so you're gonna have to like lean down somewhat. But, like, you don't want to be like coming down to the level too much. Like, you don't want to be entering their frame too much. Yeah, that's pretty true.
Thing that you are comfortable with. Because let's be honest, every time you buy a new outfit, you're like, wow, I feel great in this outfit because it's something that you enjoy and you like to wear. So wear something like that if it boosts your confidence, and really pay attention to your dialogue and your body language when you're communicating with this woman. And next tip is, let her see that you are liked by other women. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the better you feel about yourself when you look at yourself in the mirror, the more confident you're going to be on cold approaches. Like, that's basic. You want to be trying to look your best. You want to be trying to wear nice clothes. You want to be well groomed. You want to all that. That's basic, but a lot of guys don't understand it. Like, just accept it and just put more effort into your appearance. Like, even me, like, if I go out feeling scruffy and not, like, just maybe I haven't gotten my haircut, I haven't had a fresh haircut, or it's just, I don't feel as confident. It's just a thing. It's like, the better if you're wearing some fresh clothes, you're looking dope. you fresh haircut. Definitely, my game is better. I would say definitely my success rate because I feel better. I would look at myself in the mirror. I know, like, fuck that. I'm the hot shit. You want to feel like that. You want to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I look pretty fucking cool. I look pretty dope. And then that's gonna, that's gonna translate. When you're out doing cold approaches, that's gonna come across like, and girls like that. Girls like guys that are confident. Like they like a genuine confidence. Like you know and the more genuine it is, the better. None of this fake shit, like fake bullshit. um the faker it is, the worse it is, basically. um but in saying that, it's better to have fake confidence than no confidence. Like, yeah, ideally you want it to be genuine confidence, like a genuinely, I don't give a fuck, I'm the man, I'm a boss. Ideally you want it to be like that, but you know if you gotta fake it, you gotta fake it until you make it. Because being a worm, being a fucking coward, being like all shy and like all like, that's very unattractive to women. Like it's just very unattractive.
This sounds crazy, I know, but here's the thing. Hear me out before you start judging. Women, especially in the beginning, don't want to see you as a player. A 10 doesn't want to see you like as a player and this girl, like you have this girl on the side and you're bringing this girl out with you and hitting on her. No, that's not what I mean. If you have some friends and you have some friends, like a girlfriend with your guy friends out, like show them that you can engage with her and him. But then also, if you are interested in this girl and she's with a group of friends, talk to her friends too. This is so important because of the fact that you want to engage with her friends so they can afterwards, when you leave, say, who was that guy? I think he likes you. And they start talking about you and planting little seeds in her head so she can think about you. See? And last tip, know where you're.
Yeah, well, certainly don't verbalize the fact that you're a player. I think, like, your confidence level should subconsciously girls do like players, like they do, but they don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it like out straight out. Like they want to know, like there's nothing more repulsive to a girl than a guy that's a virgin, or even a guy that hasn't had sex recently. Like girls can smell the thirst off guys. That's why for some guys it can be very difficult to get out of a rut. Like a rut, like as in like you haven't gotten sex in a while. Like that's how much like girls are almost turned off by guys that aren't having sex. Girls almost want guys to have other girls. They'll never admit that. They'll never fucking admit that. But it's true. Like, it's time and time again. Like it's like the more I get laid, the more I get laid. It's like it's crazy. Like it's when I have like a rotation of like two or three girls, and they're regularly coming in to see me. It's like it just becomes so much. Something happens, but it's like it's so much easier to get like one night stand or just pick girls up. They can smell it off you or something. They just know it, and you can just build up this crazy notch count real quick if you have a rotation of a couple of girls. And you can build up, you can just fucking incredible amount of girls just from having that momentum. It's just underlying confidence that you get as a man when you're like, you've like two or three, four, five different girls that you can call like any time for sex. Like, and you can have sex almost any day. If not today, you can have it tomorrow. Someone will come over tomorrow or something. That's like, that creates this like underlying like serious confidence in a man. And when you do cold approach, that that'll come across like just the confidence. It's not like you're verbalizing, hey, what's up, my name's Mac. I have this rotation of five girls. No, you're not like that. You're not telling her, but it's like you don't even mention it, but it's just she'll know that, oh, this guy's getting laid. subconsciously she won't be thinking about that, but it's just it's an attraction thing.
Going and be comfortable with that. Now, and be comfortable with yourself, excuse me. And what I say when I say know where you're going means have direction, have goals, have something that you're looking forward to in your life. And if you don't right now, work on something. It doesn't mean that you have to be there, but it means that you're
Yeah, I mean, this isn't news to anyone that's been in the red pill space or has been learning about how to, how to pick up chicks. And yeah, it's, I already said it, but the hotter the girl is, they're more likely to want a guy with purpose. So that's why, game isn't necessarily enough. Like, yeah, like I said, like if you're just relying solely on game, you might bag the odd 10 like once in a blue moon. But like if you want to be like able to bag tens like regularly, you need to like have shit going on in your life. Like you need to be about something. Like these girls, they want a guy that's going to be successful, that is successful or is on his way to being successful. Ideally that is already successful, because um women just wait at the finish line and fuck the winners. They're not looking to go on a journey with some guy until he comes up. No, they're looking to just get with a guy that's already successful. That's the cold hard truth about the reality of dealing with women. They want guys that are successful. And honestly, the older you get as a man, the more you need to be successful. Like really, you cannot be just relying on your on your game and on it's not going to be enough. You'll need to have something about you. Um, you need to have something that's going to be more than just game. Um, you need to have your purpose. You need to have your purpose. It's always said. Who's Alpha Male Strategies? That guy was always saying that. You got to be about your purpose. You need to be about your purpose as a man to be getting the tens. You really do. Like their tens are very attracted to guys with purposes. I mean, all women are, but it just seems to be a thing with women. You know, women at the top. They want a guy that's gonna be able to pick them up in an Audi, in a Mercedes, and in a Ferrari. They want that kind of guy. They want a success. They want that lifestyle. They do. Like, of course they do. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they want a guy that's gonna pick them up in a fucking in an Audi S7 and go off and just they're gonna want that because and they you know a lot of them can get it. To be honest, a lot of them are able to have access to guys like that. So because they have leverage because they're fucking really hot. Like they're really hot. Their beauty is valuable. Like men see it as being valuable. We value that. And these bitches, that's why these bitches have an ego. That's why they have a big, very, very big ego, because they know that men fucking really value, and men are willing to pay for that shit. Men are willing to pay for that shit. Like, so we obviously value it, and it is valuable. Like because it's fleeting. It's so fleeting, man. Like that beauty, that youth. It's like it's impermanent. It's not permanent. It's impermanent. It goes like flash of a pan. Couple of years. Well, it sucks being women. To be honest, like it's like it's gone. Like it's comes and goes before they know it. Like I'm 33. I mean, if I was a woman, it's over for me. Like it's over in terms of like the leverage that you have. There can still be hot 33-year-old women, but um, there certainly can be hot 33-year-old women, but they're like they don't have that. They don't have that like fucking that essence, man. That a 21-year-old has, like that fucking like that valuable, like it's like gold. It's like that because it's yeah. The one reasons it's so not only is it it's because yeah, mainly because it's so fleeting, and they're obviously beautiful, but
pushing through it and getting there. What are your desires? What are your hobbies? What do you love? What is your passion? Things like that. And be comfortable with yourself, because when you're not comfortable with you and your purpose and your goals aren't aligned, women can see the insecurity. Women can sense this insecurity, especially a woman that is a 10 that has a good head on her shoulders. Now, I don't always say, and this is a bonus tip for you, I don't always say to overly compliment women.
Yeah, here's something that like that I'm reminded of. Like you gotta embrace who you are really. Ideally, you want to really embrace who you are because if a woman figures out that you're faking it, she will be so repulsed by it. Super repulsed by it. Man, I think I told this story before, but here's an example of how a woman finding out that you're a liar can really like if you go around lying to a woman about your maybe your success or who you are as a person, she can like really like she'll be repulsed by it. She'll probably want nothing to do with you if she finds you out like that. But yeah, here I've so I was out with a friend, and I think it was like 2 weeks ago. Yeah, and so we were we were walking down the street. We see these two girls, pretty hot. They weren't tens, but they were hot. Like they were bangable for sure. They were maybe seven and an eight maybe. I don't know. They were like 23, 24. Um, but it was late. It was like 2:30 a.m. I think it was late. Yeah, it was pretty late. I can't remember exactly what time it was. It was late though. They're on the street. They said they just came from a club. I opened them. They just said they came from a club. We were like, what are you doing? Let's go and hang out. And we said, fuck it. It's late. So I looked at my friend and said, let's have a home party, as they call them in Japan. Let's go to a home party. And one of the girls was like, really, where is it? And I was like, Nakameguro. It's a very nice place in Tokyo. It's like a fashionable area. It's a hip area. That's where my friend lives. And the girl was like, oh, really? Yeah, oh, great. It's like, oh, it's so nice. And she was like, yeah, let's go. And her friend was like, kind of on the fence. And then my friend says, oh, Tower Mansion. Tower Mansion in Japan means like a luxury high rise apartment. He just said it. I don't know why he said that, but um, I think I know why he said it because he wanted to convince her to come. But um, yeah. So by the way, the thing is, my friend doesn't live in a luxury high rise apartment. He has a very nice apartment. That's the fucking funny thing. He didn't really need to say that. He has a really nice apartment right along the river. Has a nice view. It's like a nice apartment, but it's not a luxury high rise apartment. So anyway, the girl, as soon as he said that, the girl jumps in the fucking you know, she says, "Okay, sure, okay, let's go then." So there was a taxi right there. We just flagged the taxi down. We all jump in the taxi. My friend jumps in the front seat. I'm in the back seat. Girl on either side of me. Have my arms about around both girls, like kind of escalating a little bit physically. Not making out or anything, but you know, they're like my arms around both of them. We're holding hands. Like I'm rubbing their it's comfortable. Let's just say it's nice and comfortable in the back seat there, and the girls are having a they're having a good time. We're talking away. But anyway, so we arrive at my friend's apartment. We get out of the taxi. First things the girls say, "Where's your apartment?" And we're like, "Oh, it's just here. That's it." She's like, "You said it was a tower mansion, luxury high rise," and like they were immediately just like angry and repulsed. Like it's just because and we're standing out, and long story short, they refused to come in. So you know that's in my friend never should have really said that. That's where he fucked up. Like he should never have said that. Like he didn't. I think we could have convinced the girls. Like one of them was down, and I don't think he needed to say that. Like he didn't need to say that he lived in a place that he didn't live, because that like women are repulsed when they find out a guy is like making himself out to be something that he isn't, or like exaggerating his wealth or exaggerating who women just really really are disgusted by that because it their whole it goes against their whole it's like an attack on their hypergamous nature. It's like their hypergamy sets in, like real hardcore. Like it's like shit. These guys are frauds. These guys are fraud. They see you, yeah. They see you basically as a fraud. Um. So yeah, you really want to be careful with you want to be careful with that. Um. Yeah, you don't want to be seen to be a fraud. You don't want to be seen to be a fraud at all with these women. So you want to kind of be as genuine as possible. Just kind of embrace who you are, and just try and like level up. You know, try and level up. Try and get that luxury high rise apartment. Like try and eventually get an apartment like that. Like instead of having trying to lie about it. Like because they're obviously gonna find out eventually. Like they're gonna you know if you're going to be taking them back to your apartment, they're obviously going to see it and they're not going to like it. If you lied about it, they're not going to like it. Yeah, and they didn't come in. They came in a taxi all like it was pretty far. They came all the way there. They left immediately. So don't lie. That's just a bit of a lesson in there. Um
Now, I made a video about how to make her heart melt. This is when you're in a relationship and the both of you love each other deeply. This is not meant to say this stuff in the beginning when you first go on a first or second date. What I'm talking about here is you don't want to compliment a 10 all the time. You don't want to tell her she's beautiful all the time. Maybe every once in a while when you see that she's reciprocating and when you know the time is right, then do it. But you want your words to be business. Just like I say in a lot of my videos, you want your text to mean business, but you want your words to be business and you don't want to overdo it because then she can just say, oh, he's just saying that just to make me happy. He's just saying that to be nice. And then it kind of kills attraction as well. So make sure your words mean business because you want her to look forward to it. You want her to start dressing up for you so you can say, oh, you look nice today. Things like that. So remember that bonus tip. If you like today's video, please give it a thumbs up and also tell me which one of the tips are you.
yeah, I mean, you want to be you want to be pretty stingy with your compliments to tens. You don't want to be coming up complimenting them too much. With it one of my cold approach techniques used to be like, compliment, introduction, question. A lot of the times with the tens, I won't even compliment them, but it'll be just like something situational or something. I'll you know but at the end of I still think at the end of the day, it doesn't necessarily matter that it's not about what you say, it's how you say it. But then again, if it's a 10, it's just a bit fucking stereotypical to go up and compliment her because she knows she's hot. Like she already knows she's hot. Like you could it's just better to almost go up and say something random if it's situational. Like if she's at outside a coffee shop, go up to her and say, how's the coffee here? Anything but a compliment sometimes. um it's not that you're gonna fail. It's just an outright fail. There's no chance if you compliment her, but it's just for that reason, just because sometimes if the hotter they are, the less you want to compliment them in a way, because it's too like stereotypical. Like she kind of expects it almost. um you want to just try and talk to her. You can compliment her maybe later if you're trying to escalate. um but yeah, I don't know. When you're trying to get with tens, you really need to level up. It's like, it's not that you can never get with a 10 from game or looking good, but you want to bring you have to bring more. You have to be more about your purpose. You have to bring more to the table, really. And that's when you can like consistently get with tens and not just be like once in a fucking blue moon, once a year, or once every 2 years, or just once in your life maybe. Um, because if you're just relying on game and that's it, like, yeah, you might never get with a 10. You know, you might never get with a 10. That could, if you're not working on yourself, if you're not becoming better, because even these average ass girls think, they think they're tens. So like even average girls think they're tens. So like what are your chances of actually getting with a 10? Like if you're going to be like, you're not going to be about your purpose, you're not going to be leveling up, you're not going to be getting more money, more muscles, more game. You have to be about it. Um but yeah, you just got to level up. There's no way around it. There's no way around it in this world. There's no way around it. It's like that. I think who did I hear say it? I think I heard. I think I heard one of the Tates said, "What is it? We're living in a world of have nots and have yachts." I thought that was pretty fucking good, to be honest, because it's like it really is becoming really polarized. Like there's literally a certain top percentage of men that are banging all the women. It's so unfair, but that's the way the world. That's the world we live in. Like there's literally certain elite, select few men that are just smashing through all the women, like all the women. And these elite men are just smashing all kinds of women. They're smashing fives, six, sevens, eights, nines, and tens. They're just cleaning up. They're taking all of them. They're all mine. Like they're taking all of them. And then the vast majority of men are just getting left on the fucking left, just taking the scraps, trying to use dating apps and trying to do any. You're just begging for it, like chasing it. And the more they chase it, the more it runs away. Like they're chasing so hard, and it's just like it's running away from them. Now, don't get me wrong. Like as a man, you have to pursue it. Like it's like you have to pursue it. But the higher, the higher value you become, like you dress better, you get more money, you're working on your purpose, all that shit. The higher your success rate. That's what it boils down to. It's not that these women don't chase. These women don't chase. Like they're not going to be chasing you, like unless you're a celebrity or um something like that. But you're not going to be a celebrity for them. 99% of men are not going to be celebrities or anything like that. So you just forget about that. I'm not saying give up on your dreams or whatever, but let's just accept that most guys aren't going to be in that position. So just going to have to level up, and you're going to have to like pursue, like if you want to get with women, you have to go after them. But the higher value you become, the higher your success rate. That's what happens. It's not like you just level up and the women are just going to start coming to you, they start sliding into your DMs and shit. No, no, no. It's no, like they're still not going to come. It's just that when you approach them and you become higher level and you become more confident, you become a better man, your success rate, your close rate is going to be higher. You're going to have a higher chance with them. um Toda Dia podcast says hypergamy is strong with the force here, man. um yeah, yeah, so true. Fives think they're tens these days. Yeah, 49ers fours that think they're nines. And the reason I think that is because these fives they can sleep with handsome, high value men. Because handsome, like high, like men just want to spread the seed, and they'll kind of like do pump and dumps and shit. And these girls will think that eventually, oh, I'm gonna, I slept with this really handsome, like rich guy last night. It's only a matter of time before one of them wifes me up, and it's like it's not gonna happen, bitch. Like it's not gonna happen. They they just don't understand how much, you know, if you're just it's just such a there's such a drive in men just to want to. It's just so natural for men to want to spread the seed, like just conquer, like conquer, sleep with as many women as possible. Just in the higher, more testosterone you have, the more masculine you are, the more you're going to want to do that. Like you're just going to have like a very drive just to like spread the seed, even with girls that you wouldn't, not necessarily super attractive, but nonetheless you want to get another notch. You want to like pump and dump. um Viking Paradigm says life ain't fair. Grind and level up. Yeah, you gotta grind. You gotta level up. It is a grind. It's not easy. It's work. Like it is work. Like, you gotta go to work. It doesn't feel good. Like sometimes you don't want to do the work, but you have to do it. You gotta fucking use your brain. Um, motivate. Ed says, how do you deal with the situation when girls are resistant to go to your place while on a date? Um, ideally, the most ideal situation is to get the girl like outside your place. So the way I do that is, um, ideally I don't want to like try and tell the girl that, oh, like ask her to come back to my place while we're still at the bar or the wherever or the cafe or whatever. Ideally, I literally want to be outside so I'll walk them. I'll finish my coffee or drink with them, and I'll just walk to my apartment. And funny enough, most of the time they never ask where we're going or anything. And so yeah, 9 out of 10 times we end up arrived where we've walked to my apartment, and I'm like, when it's within visible distance, my building or whatever, I say, yo, I live over here. Let's go in and check it out. Very casually, very nonchalant, some kind of plausible deniability. It can be something as let's just check it out. And a lot of the time there is like last minute resistance. A lot of the time there will be. It'll be like, oh, I don't go. No, I'm not coming back. And sometimes girls will sound very convincing. They'll be like, no, I'm not coming back. No, I don't. I don't do that on a first date, and I'm not coming in. And then it's funny because like it can be so easy just to combat that. It's just like it might feel very convincing, as in, oh shit, she's definitely the tone of her voice, she sounds like she's not down at all. But I mean, just last week, a girl did that very same thing, very like kind of convincingly. She said, no, I'm not coming back to your place on the first date, no way. I just put my hand on her back and said, "Don't worry about it. It's just like we're just gonna chill and check it out. It's comfortable, it's nicer. It's a nicer deal, and it's gonna be nicer in my place. Basically, we can relax and enjoy ourselves." And she said, "Okay." She just said like it was just a complete 180, like complete. A lot of it's a shit test. So at least always try and convince them. Don't just give up as soon as they say I'm not coming back, or like I'm not coming, no way, or say, no, don't worry about it. We're just gonna, it's comfortable. It's winter here in Japan, so it's cold outside, and I was like, oh, it's so warm, and it's gonna be nice and warm. We can relax, not watch Netflix and shit. Yeah, and it's just complete 180 from complete no, I'm not coming back. Like sounded very convincing. Like there's no way she's coming back, to just like hand on the back, like don't worry about it. We're just don't worry about me. I'm not, I'm not gonna do anything. And I made it. She just completely gave up, like completely just no resistance after that. It was funny. It was just funny how she changed like so quickly. It's, a lot of guys would just give up, like, and just like not even try, because she said it so like, oh, I'm not coming back to your place on the first date. No way, I don't do that. I was like, oh, don't worry about it. Just we're just gonna chill. It's nice and comfortable. And she, yeah, came right in. No resistance after that. Um, Super A Master says men with low abundance will give validation to any pussy available. Yeah, I mean, thirsty men are, they validate girls too much. Like they'll validate too much, and then it subconsciously it communicates to the girl that this guy doesn't have abundance, and then that must mean he's not high valuable. He's not a high value man, because why is he giving me so much validation? It must mean that he's thirsty, and it's funny. You got to do the opposites. Like you got to. It's a balancing act. Like it's just this weird balancing act that, but eventually you get so good at it that you kind of just innately understand the balancing act, and it's not so much of an effort, anymore. It's like people walking on tight ropes. It's like if the first time you try and walk on a tightrope, it's like you're gonna fall off, and it's but expert tightrope walkers, eventually it's just they can do it like simply. It's easy for them to do. It's kind of like game in a way. It's actually a good analogy. Actually, it's like a tight. It's a pretty good one. Never thought about it like that. But game is like this. It's just a balancing act. It's at the start, it's very difficult, and you fall off, and can't get it right. You can't get your balance right. You might be simping too much. You might be giving out too many compliments. But eventually, you're just like walking along the tightrope, just rolling along. You just figure, you just innately, you intuitively understand females. You understand their nature. Um, you can just get women. You just understand them. Like last night, here's an example of how much I get women, and it's just, and I'm not trying to brag or anything. I'm just saying, I'm just trying to give an example. Like, I really get women, and I can get women with very little information. So about a month ago, I day gamed this chick. Day gamed her, normal approach. Cold approached her, walked up beside her, talked to her for about um about 2 minutes, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, exchanged contacts, and said goodbye. Messaged her, she ghosted me. She left me on red. She didn't reply. I double texted her. She left me on red again. I just forgot about her then. So long story short, she ghosted me. And then last night, or the night before last, um, I got some missed calls off her. I got a missed call. It's like off this girl that I cold approached a month ago, and then uh yeah, so then I messaged her. So I got the missed calls. I messaged her back. I was like, did you want to talk, or was this a mistake? Because this guy's very it's very like that. It literally never happens. I never get random calls off girls that I cold approached a month ago. It basically doesn't happen. Okay, you can take it that that does not happen in Japan anyway. Girls don't call you like girls. No one calls each other anyway in Japan. Like, no, you message each other. So I was like, it must be a mistake. She called me by mistake. Um, but no, she messaged me back saying, "Hey, sorry, actually I did want to talk, and it was she basically apologized and said, but forget about it, never mind." And then that's all the information I had about it. And I put two and two together and said, it's late. This girl's acting irrational. She, you know, so I put two together and I said, "Hey, are you drunk? Did you break up with your boyfriend?" I didn't even know anything about this girl. I didn't know she had a boyfriend. And she messages me back, and I was right. I was right about both things. Um, she was what was it? Well, let me see the message and see what. Where is it? Yeah, yeah, okay. So yeah, missed call. She and she said, actually, I wanted to talk, but never mind. Apologies. I'm sorry for disturbing. I said, what happened? I'm curious. Are you drunk? Did you break up with your boyfriend or something? And her response was kind of both. Well, did not entirely break up, but it's on the edge, and I was drunk. I was fucking right about both things, like just off that little bit of information. Um, And then she says, I'm so sorry again for how I've been behaving with you, including the call last night. It was so rude. How about meeting at, and then I just said to her, how about meeting at 7 p.m. tonight? And she says, meeting you today sounds good, but I will probably be working late. So how about 8 p.m. if that works for you? So, you know, just, I can just predict these girls. Like I under you, the more you're around women, you can just predict their behaviors. It's going it's not normal behavior for a girl to call you out of the blue after cold approaching her. So then you put two and two together and say, okay, this girl is calling me late at night. She's she's not in her stable mind. Um, And yeah, I just figured, I knew like this girl is calling me up like randomly. It's like she probably ghosted me or ignored my message because she was in a relationship, and then she has a fight with her boyfriend. She gets all emotional. She's like, I'm gonna suck some dick, I get revenge on my dickhead boyfriend. And this is what happens. These girls are savages, man. These girls, this is why when girls break up, they go and suck some dicks. Don't get like, that's how they go, and like they go and fuck, like, um and yeah, I was just spot on about it, with tiny bit of information. But you can read these girls like a book. With the more you're around them, the more experience you get with them. And yeah, just all it all the more you know, the better you are, the more you're gonna get laid. But yeah, guys, been going for a while. um Know Your Worth says amazing. Thank you again for the super chat. Just to let you guys know, I apparently am eligible for super chats. So if you ever want to help to support the podcast, support the red pills, feel free. But so yeah, guys, I'll be back tomorrow, 6 a.m. Central Time, or no, Eastern Standard Time. Until then, peace out, guys. Have a good one. Bye bye.